Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Bar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, host of Vancouver Island Time. And today we are here on He Said, She Said, They Said with...
Hi everybody, it's Andrew Plank with Royal LePage.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I wasn't actually running around like a chicken with my head cut off this weekend, so that was nice. Unlike, I guess, many of our colleagues, it was just took some downtime. How about you?
We must be operating on a different planet because I had 3 offers on a lot.
Yeah.
We were very strategic in our pricing. We had a lot on Pender Island. All the other lots were priced at $139. We priced ours at $138, and we got 3 offers.
Wow.
Yeah, and we sold over asking.
Very price sensitive. Was it a superior lot then to these others?
It was in a great location, South Pender Island. It wasn't on the water though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh,
so, and then, pardon?
Congratulations to you. That's great.
Thank you. And my Quebec street listings, we have 3 accepted offers. And here's Ginger.
Hi, Ginger.
Okay,
why do you call her Ginger?
Oh my God. Let's talk about the stats today, Andrew. You're being silly. You're my friend, so I can say that to you. Okay, so let's see. So we're at the end of the month. Next week, we're going to do all of our stats review. But I thought maybe we could talk about what happened to the end of February.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay. Well, look at that. We had 863 unconditional sales this month in Feb. And last year was 563. But of course, that was maybe people were starting to get a little concerned around the COVID and things were starting to slow down. But new listings, 1,115 coming on this month of February, last month of February, and 1,027 the year before. So pretty close to the same.
Yeah, but the active listings are down 1318 compared to 2,127 last year. And I think that was pretty
number.
Like it was a pretty normal number last year. So I think we're down about 40% there.
Yep. That's not a lot of inventory when you consider there's actually that's about 1 listing per realtor that's licensed with the board. There's around, actually, I don't know the current number. It's probably around 1,200.
I heard 1,400 like last time officially. But if you look at the list to sale ratio here in the next little thing, Market Watch, you can see over the past 7 days, the list to sale is 1-to-1. So that means you have a very high chance right now, about a 99% chance, if you list your home well, that it will sell.
Actually, and it's inverted because normally I think we usually see just a few more listings than pendings. Although maybe with the numbers, yeah, it's pretty close to even there. A little more selling than listings. So that's going to continue to draw the inventory down. And
so those price decreases are probably because people have priced their homes too high and they're not getting offers. And so sometimes what you can do is you can bump a house on the list by doing a little bit of a price decrease. And what that does is it alerts everybody in your search on our matrix portal and allows them to see your listing come up to the top of the search again.
Right. If you have a realtor sending you listings, you're going to get every day the new listings coming on. You're going to get the sales and you're going to get the changes in price. And so whether price increase or decrease, it's going to alert people to this change, which helps to give it a bit of a nudge in people's attention.
Awesome. Okay, so we have a special guest today, but first we're going to show you a little video. So on the weekend, I interviewed some people from Habitat for Humanity. So Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization. They're worldwide. And who was the former president who was involved?
You're asking me? I didn't do my homework.
We'll have to ask Yolanda that.
Okay, Yolanda.
Yolanda Meijer is going to be joining us from Habitat for Humanity. But first, let's just see this video that I did. Hold on.
We're no pressure, Jane. We're expecting great things here.
I know. Okay, get ready, people. Can you hear it? Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at RE/MAX Camosun. I'm here today with Stephen and Siobhan Bibb. They've agreed very graciously to discuss things with us today. So welcome, you guys. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Good, thank you.
So where are you living now in the city? Are you up in North Saanich?
We're in Sydney. We're actually just on the Sydney side of the border, and now we'll be moving our new home just to the North Saanich side of the same border, maybe 3 blocks as the crow flies from where we are now.
Okay, awesome. How did you get involved in Habitat for Humanity?
Actually, it was the Sydney market. They put up a booth and we saw the information and we talked about it and thought, why not? We'll give it a whirl. And so we applied.
So what are the requirements for applying to Habitat for Humanity?
I think one of the things is you have to have a child under 10,
yeah.
I believe. You have to meet certain requirements as far as income, maximum income, yeah. I think the debt ratio has to be just right as well. You can't have too much debt. So you have to show that you can actually afford to pay the mortgage once you're in. So
yeah.
Am I missing any?
I think those are the broad strokes, yeah.
This is the main.
And so it's a way of providing people with a step into the market, and you can build equity with the property as it increases in value, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and so are you in a rental right now?
We are. We've been there for 8 years. It's just about May 1st will be 8 years. It's extremely exciting to be able to bring my kids up in the peninsula and know that we'll be able to stay for a while.
Tell us about the house that you're moving into. I know that you haven't moved into it yet. So part of that is because the house is being finished. It's a brand new home. But what are the other requirements that you guys need to do in order to get into the house?
You have to volunteer 500 hours total before you can start working on the mortgage. But before that, I believe you can get into a Habitat home if you do half the hours. And then it's more of sort of a rental structure until you finish your volunteer hours at that point.
So what sort of volunteer are you doing? Are you actually working in the development that you're going to be moving into?
Yeah, we've done a lot of different things. Like today, I was first aid on site at the job site. So we're live right here from Bakerview, the build site. So that's exciting. We were even here when they were. We had to rip concrete forms off the foundation, which was exciting. Backbreaking labor.
It was incredibly difficult labor. Yeah.
Sweat equity. It was really exciting. I loved it. It's the type of work I like. And we've been working at the restore as well.
Yeah. Quite
a bit. Siobhan, more so than me, but yeah, so it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. So do you want to give us a tour of the property?
Down the street here, where Steve is sort of pointing down there, it's all just a regular development. And then our section here off to the left, it's 10 units. They're all Habitat units. So we've got the entire corner property here for Habitat families, which is really neat. We'll have sort of our own little community, but also part of this brand new community that's going up with the new homes, and in an absolutely beautiful area. So it's exciting.
And I hear you guys have really developed a community with other people in the neighborhood who are going to be moving in with you in the Habitat community. 2
of the units, so the 4-bedroom units are both accessible units. So they have lifts in them, which is amazing for folks with either if the parents or the child has a disability. Like, I mean, that must be a huge game changer because not many homes would have that. So really amazing.
Okay, so those are the accessible homes, correct?
Yeah, so that's right side is a 2-bedroom and the left side is a 4-bedroom. And then in the center, there's a little basketball court they've just poured.
Awesome. And then there's parking.
More parking over there. Yep.
Yeah.
And another duplex unit. And then the 2 triplex units are.
Okay, let's do the tour of the house. This is
All right.
exciting.
Yeah, and as you were saying, it's been really neat to get to know the other families. We've done a bit of volunteering with them, and it's been really lovely. We had no idea what we were sort of getting ourselves into with this community of people, you know, a bunch of strangers, but everyone's been fantastic, and we're excited to have all these really great neighbors.
When are you able to move in?
We don't know yet. I think we find out on Thursday.
Oh, it's nearly done.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, so that's the kitchen. Did you guys have to supply your own appliances?
It came with 2 appliances. So the stove and the fridge are part of the situation. And then we have to, if we want a dishwasher, there's a hole here for a dishwasher. And then upstairs we'll have to provide our own washer and dryer. We've been saving toward that end. So that was from the beginning, we knew that we would have to factor that in. So
Here's the living room.
yeah, dining and living.
Dining and living room, sorry.
So that's a big space. That's nice. And you have a room on the main floor?
Yeah, there's the small washroom here.
Nice. Okay. You want to take us upstairs? Oh, has this been a positive experience for you?
It's been a really positive experience. We actually didn't think we would be approved. We thought we would probably be, you know, in that weird middle section of not having enough money to buy our own home in this market, but also, you know, having the issue of maybe making too much or having too stable of a rental currently, because we have been in the same place for so long.
Right.
I
Okay.
was definitely a bit of a doubting Thomas when Siobhan told me. I said, well, let's put our application in. But I said, we're, you know, I don't think we'll qualify, but here we are. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you have a good sized bedroom.
This
at
is
the,
One of the kids'
Kids.
bedrooms. Yeah.
And then
Sorry.
over here. Keep running into each other.
And there's bedroom number 2 for the kids.
right. And they have a shared bathroom.
Yeah, so this is the bathroom for the upstairs for all of us. So
So you have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
that's correct.
Awesome. And this is
laundry.
wow, nice.
I guess that's where the laundry will be.
Right. Stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then our master bedroom is straight ahead.
And you have a view.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
the trees are bare. We'll have a view.
Oh, there's the ocean. Awesome.
Yes.
That's right. Ocean view.
So you're facing east there. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, for people, I know there are lots of people, I have clients because I'm in the industry who can't afford a home. And I guess it's been a positive process for you, right? And you've
It has
enjoyed
been.
you've made friends in the community. How do they get involved with Habitat for Humanity?
I guess you just reach out to the community, to the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a thrift store, it's also, you know, the building organization. They do have folks that actually work there. Their whole job is to get us set up with this process. So yeah, I would just call Habitat and inquire. And on the website, I think they have, if there are vacancies, because some families are moving into not the brand new development. So they have different opportunities based on if you want to stay in a certain area of town or, yeah, different things.
Yeah, we were kind of lucky that summer because Siobhan went to the city market, like she said. So that was quite convenient, you know, to start the ball rolling, so to speak. But,
Yeah.
We can bring more people into the community. I do know that they are looking for somebody in one of the homes that has an elevator. So I might
Yes.
have a client for that. So we'll see.
Oh, perfect.
Awesome.
thank you guys so much for allowing me to interview you today. We're going to be focusing on it tomorrow, and we're going to have the CEO, Yolanda Meijer, is going to be talking to us about what's happening with Habitat for Humanity and what opportunities people have. So we'll round out this information. I really, really appreciate your time, and this has been an awesome experience for me.
That was great. That was great.
I edited it myself.
I wanted to jump in. It felt like I was part of the conversation. I should have been part of the conversation. You would ask questions, they would answer. I would have a question. I was going to say something. I was like, I think they're not actually live. I can't speak to them. But I'm so used to the same. You had the same background and everything. It's like you're there. So, that was beautiful. That was a really great introduction to it, and they look so happy and such a great couple and perfect.
Well, we have Yolanda here, Meijer. She's going to be talking to us. She's the CEO of Habitat for Victoria. So welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed that video. It's nice to see the Bibs getting excited about their new home.
Mm-hmm.
They're adorable. I love them.
They are. All the families moving into that complex are pretty special, and a lot of them have been volunteering together at the Restore. We had these kind of Thursday evening resets, and so they had an opportunity to get to know each other and bond in a way that you don't typically when you move into a strata. You don't necessarily know who your neighbors are going to be. So a lot of them have had the joy of going through the experience together of doing their volunteer service. So that's been nice to see.
That would probably be really good for all stratas to do. If you're in a strata, get to know your neighbors by working together.
I've lived in a strata, and it certainly helps if you bond with your strata neighbors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were building their community together is, such a great experience, right?
It is, and we had an event this summer, an open house for the community, and that was the first time that also some of the children were there, and they got to meet one another and play, and you just kind of could see that center hub, because there are 4 separate blocks of buildings, two triplexes and 2 duplexes in that particular build, and they're all circling around a center courtyard where there's going to be a gazebo and a community area, and then of course they said the little asphalt area where you can play some street hockey or some basketball. So I'm really hoping that they will have a fantastic community, not just the adults but the kids.
So how does someone qualify to become a member, or what do you call people who move into home? Are they?
We call them Habitat homeowners or future homeowners as they're working their way toward that. So the first step really is I encourage people to go to our website and look under the homeownership section. And that kind of answers a lot of questions. There's kind of 3 key criteria, that's hard to say, which is that you need to be living in need of affordable housing, but that's fairly broadly defined. That doesn't just mean financial need, although that's an important criteria, but maybe you're living in a home that's too small for your family. Maybe you're living in a dodgy neighborhood that's not really safe. There's a variety of ways in which we look at what living in need means. And then I think the Bibs mentioned too, they were worried that they maybe wouldn't fit because they were in that weird spot of earning too much income or not enough income. You do need to have the ability to pay a mortgage and strata fees and property taxes and all of those things. So you have to have a minimum income, but because we are a charity that's particularly focused on serving low-income families, you also have to be below certain income thresholds. So it's threading a needle a little bit to hit the sweet spot of earning enough to be able to manage those responsibilities, but not so much that you would be disqualified from our charitable program. And then the final thing is the willingness to partner with Habitat in achieving this goal. And that is the 500 hours. That's being an ambassador. So the Bibs, for example, were an excellent ambassadors today for Habitat. So those are the 3 key criteria. And then they mentioned a child under 10. That is not true of every Habitat affiliate across the country, but currently, because of the few opportunities that we're able to offer right now, we've chosen to focus here in Victoria on families, particularly families with younger children. because all of the studies show the impact that can have on a child to live in a stable home in terms of educational outcomes, health outcomes, just all of the positive impacts. And so with only a handful of opportunities that we can offer families each year, we thought we would focus on younger families.
Excellent. Wonderful.
So I have a question. So right now, with the cost of living increasing, is there going to be a change in what the qualifications are for minimum and maximum income?
Well, every year, what we use is what's called housing income limits that are published by BC Housing, and they're developed by CMHC regionally across the entire country. So those are published every year, and they change, and they kind of look at the median or average income that it takes in order to get a 1, 2, 3, or 4 bedroom home in various communities. So they have gone up slightly in our community year over year, and that's just to do with the cost of living. So we move our upper income threshold. So for example, right now, I brought it up on the website. People can see if they want to that, the income range for a 2-bedroom is $40,000 to $59,500, and the income range for 3-bedroom is $45,000 to $78,500, and for a 4-bedroom, $50,000 to $84,500. So that gives you an idea. So you're looking between $40,000 and $85,000 roughly.
That's family income.
Total gross household income. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've got a number of questions. It's so many questions. It's exciting stuff. 500 volunteer hours, that's volunteering for Habitat, or is that volunteering in your community? It's Habitat specific.
It is for Habitat. There are some occasions where it might be challenging for someone to actually be on the build site or be in the restore, and we might work with them to identify a similar or like-minded charity, maybe something in housing, maybe something to do with children that we might assign the hours to. But generally speaking, almost all of the hours are done with Habitat for Humanity.
Okay, thank you. The other question I have, because sort of an overarching question about this is, these units you mentioned currently, you've got the triplexes and the duplexes that are there. What kind of price point are they compared to, market value? What is the benefit to someone going into this, and how does that work for the people who qualify?
It's a really interesting question, Andrew, because a lot of people are stunned to realize that we actually sell the homes at their fair market value currently. We are required to, actually. Right. So it's not the purchase price that makes the program affordable, it's the lending. Habitat is the majority lender. We're the best analogy I can give is we're kind of like the benevolent bank of mom and dad, providing a huge interest-free loan to the families. So there's no down payment required, which is a big hurdle for a lot of people, right? There's no CMHC insurance required because you're entering into a high ratio mortgage. So that's a huge amount of savings. And so basically, historically, Habitat has done a vendor take-back mortgage, 100% loan to value at 0 interest and no money down. So that's what made it affordable. Very recently, we've partnered with Van City, and we are going to be introducing our families to an interest-bearing mortgage for about 30% of the purchase price, or what they can qualify for, and the balance will be provided by Habitat as an interest-free loan.
And is that a way of them getting, what would be the benefit of that? Would it be, just to get credit rating, or like, why would they choose that over having the 100% vendor take back?
Well, first of all, it's not necessarily their choice. It's to do with Habitat's sustainability and model, because not only does it need to be affordable for the families to be able to purchase a home, it also needs to be sustainable for the charity to continue to build the homes. Because in the old model, all of their equity payments to pay back their mortgage, we're also building up their equity for the future, so that when Habitat buys the home back from them in the future, they kind of get a return on that money. So what we're doing in this case, is as much a percentage as that Van City mortgage is their exposure to the market appreciation. So they're going to be equity partners with Habitat. So if they are 30% of the purchase price to an interest-bearing mortgage through Van City, then as the market progresses, they'll participate 30%.
So we obviously are interested in it because we're realtors, and sometimes we have people who are borderline qualifying for purchasing of real estate. But also, how can we communicate this to builders and developers to help them maybe get their projects approved if they have a Habitat for Humanity home? Because you are looking for different places to grow Habitat for Humanity projects, right?
We are, Jane, and thanks for the question. It's a great question. Because we are living in one of the highest cost real estate markets in the country, Habitat as a charity has had a hard time securing land because we are just not able to compete with developers to purchase the land because typically we're not building as dense a project as they are. And so what we've been doing over the last 3 projects is partnering with developers who have donated serviced land as part of their rezoning. And that's because the municipalities are requiring more and more that people have an affordable housing component in their builds. And so the project in North Saanich, for example, is on land that's 100% donated from a developer, or it would not have been possible for Habitat to have done that project. I think Siobhan mentioned that there is a market development adjacent to it. And when they went to council insisted that there be an affordable housing component. So they were able to get the rezoning to do their 17-unit market development because they donated land to Habitat. And the same thing has happened in Central Saanich on a couple of developments as well, where the council has asked that there be an affordable housing component. The interesting thing about Habitat is that because we're an ownership model, we're well suited to some of these types of developments as opposed to some of the other affordable housing providers that do rental. Because we can actually have one home, let's say in a Bearland strata like we did in Central Saanich. There were 2 different 17-unit single lot, small lot developments, and one of the lots was donated to Habitat. So one of those 17 homes in a typical strata is a Habitat home. And I like to say that Habitat homeowners aren't any different than anybody else except for their lending. And so that's how we're making it happen. And so I do very much encourage any builders and developers out there who are looking at a new project, going to council and want to strengthen their application, to talk to Habitat for Humanity and partner with us as right from the beginning, because I think it makes a very strong application to partner with us.
Okay, Andrew, do you have any questions?
Well, again, you mentioned that we're realtors. So wearing the realtor hat, all these questions come up, like what happens when someone has been in that unit for, let's say, 5 years or 10 years and they need to make a family change or move on and move out. What is the exit strategy and how does that work?
Well, the land that we're obtaining has an affordable housing covenant on it, which means that it needs to stay affordable. And in order to ensure that, an individual owner can't possibly manage selling a home to somebody who's in those income thresholds that I mentioned earlier. So right. Habitat controls that turnover by reacquiring the unit from the family. So we basically buy the units back and then qualify a new family to buy it. And so there is capped equity for these families. It's not unfettered open market equity. They don't get to see a huge gain like you would if you bought a home and there was big changes in the market. What happens is that Habitat is controlling that. We maintain an option to purchase and right of first refusal in addition to the affordable housing covenant. So the families will have equity to the degree that they've paid down their principal payments. And then again, as I mentioned, that if they have the 30% mortgage with Van City, they participate in some capped depreciation as well. So basically, after renting for 5 or 10 or 12 years, when you leave, you had the benefit of living in the home, but you don't take any equity with you. And the difference in the Habitat situation is that you do. You will have a savings or an accrued equity that's happened over time, and then you can use those funds to perhaps buy a home in the market, or if you're moving to a different community, actually buy a home there. So that's the benefit.
It's funny that you say moving to a different community, because we all know that in Victoria, it's, you sell here and it's not always able to rebuy. So a lot of people are actually making that move.
Yeah, but I think the big thing that I really talk to about what this program does is that it provides housing security. And what I've really noticed, the anxiety that a lot of renters have, even if they're living in a adequately sized home that's affordable, they kind of, their housing is subject to somebody else making a decision about whether or not they're going to sell that house that they live in. So the beauty of the Habitat program is that the locus of control about how long and when and if they want to sell is with them. And that I've had even that staff at Habitat. I've had 3 different staff who have lived in their homes for a long time lose their housing, and just watching them go through that stress of trying to find something affordable in this market to rent, and then have that cycle happen to them all over again. That's one of the really great benefits that a Habitat program offers, in addition to the equity portion.
Stability is so important for raising a family and for getting any kind of foothold on your life, on your own life, and being able to provide that stability is such a great service that you're providing.
What are the people who are leaving the Habitat for Humanity homes doing? What's their next step?
Well, to be honest, it's sort of like typical life situations. There might be a divorce, and that results in, the division of assets and people having to leave their home as they would in any other situation. But more often than not, it's actually the reverse, where let's say a single parent is living in a Habitat home and they marry. And as a result of that, they make the decision that, their economic situation has changed and they move out of the Habitat home, either, into the market or into a different community. Yeah.
So if their income increases over the time that they've been with Habitat for Humanity and they literally earn out of Habitat, what happens then?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of our program as well, is you don't lose your Habitat home because you've gone on to be more successful financially. It's not a punitive program, but it is a guaranteed income program. So what will happen is that your mortgage payments will go up, proportionate to the increase in your income, which really means that you're just building your equity that much faster. So, it is a geared to household income program. At the time that you qualify, you need to be below those income thresholds. But if you go on to be more successful financially, then, like I said, you don't lose your Habitat home. You don't need to leave the program. You simply pay more to live in the home, build more equity.
Okay, we have a question from Belinda here. Are homeowners permitted to make any structural changes if required?
They are, with our written consent, and depending on what it is, and sometimes people might do a homeowner improvement. So we look at that as well when we're valuing the home at the time that they might be selling it back to Habitat. But yes, they can to a degree. They're not, free to knock down walls and add garages and those sorts of things. And our rule of thumb is if they can get permission from the local municipality for what they want to do, and it's not going to diminish the value of the home, then typically Habitat wouldn't prevent that from happening.
And in a strata anyway, if you're going to make a structural change, you will need permits and
the strata permission. Yeah,
it's generally there's a few different areas where you need to get those permissions. Kind of important. Yeah. So if you're someone that wants to be in the program, there's the 500-hour volunteer requirement, but of course, you don't have to be in the program to volunteer for Habitat. And I know that many years ago, the real estate board, and I haven't seen them do it again, but the real estate board actually put some volunteers together, and I was out at a property over by Tillicum Mall helping to volunteer, and it was
that's awesome.
We were working on on some perimeter drainage, I think, and it was the rainiest day of the year.
I remember
very, very wet.
I remember.
I
think one day got canceled for snow, and then you guys came back on. Yes, you were doing perimeter drain tile landscaping stuff on just in absolute misery. I'd take my hat off to you. I think there was about 10 of you out there from the
real estate day. We had so much fun. We were miserable, yet we were so happy, and so it was a great opportunity to volunteer and also be part of building something.
Yeah.
So how can someone else volunteer, maybe on a nicer day? But
well, to be honest, private individuals who are not skilled labor, meaning they don't, they're not carpenters, or it's difficult to get onto the job site from that perspective, because that involves our having to have a whole infrastructure in place. But what we do allow is what we call team builds. So corporations, which is what happened with the real estate board, sponsor a day. They pay a sponsorship fee, and in exchange for the sponsorship fee, they can pick 6, 8, 10 individuals, come out to the job site. We did one recently with Urban Systems. They helped build the fences, and that opportunity does still exist. So if people want to come out and help with landscaping, at our current build site, Andrew, since you enjoyed it so much, then yes, Royal LePage or Remax could sponsor a day, and a bunch of realtors could come out and pitch in. That would be great.
Excellent.
What about non-corporate people? Because we have a comment here. This program is amazing and it is incredibly helpful. Thank you. I want to become a volunteer. How do they do? What can they do? Can they go and work at the store?
Absolutely. Volunteers are so needed and welcome in the store. Please visit our website, go to the volunteer section. There's a form you can fill in, and we absolutely would love to have you come out and help us. It's really fun to volunteer in the store. People really enjoy it. So yes, please do volunteer with Habitat.
Okay. Well, do you have any other questions, Andrew?
I'm not currently, no.
Okay, that was awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time today, Yolanda. I was just proud to be a member of the board there. And you are looking for other people as well for board members?
Yeah, if you're interested in, that's another way to volunteer is to join the board. So by all means, please, there is an application form that on our website as well. And we're interested to have you be a part of our next build, because we're looking for our next project. So I encourage everybody to put their minds together about where Habitat can build next. We haven't built on the West Shore yet, so maybe there's something out there.
I got a question.
Yes. Okay.
How many builds do you do? Like, how often are you building, and how many builds have you done, let's say, in the last decade, and what are you projecting for the future?
Well, Habitat has not, like I say, we're not a program that has a huge volume of homes because we're an ownership program. So we don't have a little impact on a lot of people. We have a big impact on the few people. So last year we started 11 homes, which is by far and away the most in our history. I would say that we've kind of averaged 1 or 2 a year for the last 2 decades. So,
Okay.
We are definitely needing our next project, but the cost of land and the cost of building here is prohibitive. And so that's why we really do need to do that in partnership with builders who are wanting to have an affordable housing component as part of their project, which is what happened last year with those 10 units. So, I think Habitat's dream here would be to be continuously building. If we could be building 5, 10, 20 homes a year, that would be fantastic.
Wonderful.
We need to do that in partnership with developers and municipalities.
And we're seeing more and more of that as well with the partnership, and where the municipalities really are having a much deeper awareness and are more requiring that before they'll approve a subdivision. So I think we'll see more of that.
Well, and the nice thing about Habitat's program as well is that it's just modest density. It's not, suddenly next door, you're having a huge building with lots of affordable rental. It's we're perfect to put in a triplex or a duplex. The one that you were talking about near Telecom Mall was all single family homes, except for the Habitat home was a duplex. And so, it's just right in a neighborhood, like any other neighborhood. It's really a great way to integrate affordable housing into existing established communities.
And plus all the people are vetted beforehand for the affordability, that they can maintain the payments, and it's a quality program with quality people in it, and it's a way to give people a leg up. And if a developer or a realtor who knows a developer can incorporate this into their plans, they may have a chance of getting their development through a little more easily, because we're giving people in Victoria, where the housing prices are crazy, a way of getting into the market.
Yeah.
And if someone can show they can do 500 volunteer hours, then they're going to be involved in their community. They're going to be a boon to their community. They're going to be supportive in the community, much more than someone who just has come in with the cash, let's say, and is just going to, live there in the property but doesn't get involved. I would argue that someone who is going through your program is going to be a really wonderful addition to a community.
Yeah. Thanks, Andrew. I agree.
Now you know why he's my friend. He's a kind person. All right, you guys. Okay, so who's the best person for developers to contact at Habitat for Humanity?
That would be me. And you can reach me at CEO@habitatvictoria.com.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. So thank you very much for coming today. I really appreciate it. I just want to say that I think this is a very valuable program. If anybody is interested, if you want to become a homeowner through Habitat for Victoria, you can go to their website, habitatvictoria.com. And if you want to get in touch with Yolanda regarding developing, please email her at ceo@habitatvictoria.com. Thank you again. Next week, we're going to be focusing on the market. We're going to do our monthly market update and find out what's going on. Andrew, do you have any closing remarks?
Oh, no. It was just wonderful. Thanks so much, Yolanda. That was really great. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to share with everybody this program. So thanks so much.
Yeah, great.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye now.